Alright, here we go with some Bant Knightfall. And we're going to keep this hand. It's not the most incredible thing I've seen, but it has cards I like. I mean, I like the Pride Mage. It's got a collect company that makes any hand good. And this on turn 3 is fine. And we're on the play, which is also important. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the Stomping Ground tapped. That gives us our green mana. Um, Next turn, I'll just play the Windswept Heath, get a Plains with it. Interesting, okay. Temple of Scryumph, huh? It's almost tempting to not do this without the ability because you might have something like Blood Moon. I mean, most Temple of Triumph decks run Blood Moon. And Temple of Triumph has actually made its way into several decent decks, although he doesn't have a second land. And we have drawn a Bird's Paradise. So I'm going to fetch out an island here. Play the Retreat. And just get in there for 3. As I say, I think I was saying we're going to play around Blood Moon because a lot of Temple Triumph decks play Blood Moon, and you don't automatically assume your opponent's on a bad deck because they play this card because it's actually made its way into several decks that have done well in Magic Online. That play Nahiri and Emrakul. Well, we don't have the fastest draw going on here, but I think it's going to be good enough, given that our opponent isn't playing Magic. Sure, keep that on top. It doesn't matter because we're just going to collect a company, and we're going to have to fetch to do it. But we can hold priority on that trigger. Yeah, so we're going to fetch out our forest here. Respond to this trigger. Let's see here. Scry 1. Respond to the trigger by casting Collected Company. So we're going to get a scry. Okay, so we'll get some mana dorks. And we get a scry at the end of it, which is nice. Sure. Opponent confirmed not playing mana, but I bet these cards are going to be good. Board out a mana dork. Sure. Temple of Triumph tells you a lot more about a deck than you would think. That would actually be an interesting article series. What you can tell about your opponent's deck based on the first land they play. Because you really can't. If you play enough Modern, you really can't tell quite a bit just off of the land. Maybe not the fetch land they play, but any non-fetch land, I think you can tell quite a bit about a deck. Even basics, even if they play basic forest or something, you can put them on a range of decks that are different. Even though obviously a lot of decks play basic forest, just if you figure out the odds of them having it and leading with it on their first turn over a tap land, etc., you start putting them in a range of decks. Yeah, our opponent gets to go first this time. We will be keeping this hand. It's pretty solid. It's got a lot of. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but we're covered either way here with Path and Negate, and obviously Spell Queller. Alright, so we'll just do this. So our opponent showed us one land last game, and now he's got Flooded Strand, huh? Okay. Basic Plains. So I bet there's a Blood Moon in our future. Gonna want to fetch a basic with this. Oh man. Well, we could hold up Negate. It's not the worst plan. So my reasoning here is if we just fetch a basic forest and play Tarmogoyf for something, that's all we're getting is that Tarmogoyf and the Scavenging Ooze for the rest of the game. We just hold up Negate. If he slams a Blood Moon, we can just negate it. Next turn we can Spell Queller and still be playing Magic. And because we're holding Negate, I actually feel comfortable fetching a little more greedily here. I'm not going to though. No, I won't. I'm just gonna get forests and plains. There's no reason to be greedy. Especially since forests and plains allows us to use this to blow up a Blood Moon. Our opponent's just got to be sitting on removal spells and all of that. So I kind of just want to play the Spell Queller. I'm not going to, I don't think, but kind of want to. It gets bolted and it puts three things into the graveyard, so our Tarmogoyf can't be bolted. Is there not a reason to, though? Oh, now we're playing something. Guess we're just gonna play. Let's just. I don't know. Like, I want to play Selfless Spirit, but then I don't have Path Up, which is the only thing we can represent. Maybe that just doesn't matter. We're covered against Blood Moon now, so we don't have to worry about that. If you play Tarmogoyf, it's one of those rare instances where it actually could be lightning bolted to death, so we don't want to do that. I'm not going to discard. I want to happy with Spell Quellers in hand, but I'm not going to discard because of it. It would be a tech play if we did, but it's not worth it. We'll get onto the board here and make him react to us. These white-red decks are very, very good against creature decks. They sort of sell out on the combo matchups and things like that to be extremely good against creatures. And that's what we have, so... Hey, look, it's the Blood Moon. Luckily, we planned for this. I actually feel pretty good that we planned for this. Alright, get the Pride Mage in here. I guess where we get blown out is if he has a second Blood Moon. Now let's say, yeah, I'm glad we fetched the way we did here. We didn't have to hide behind these forever. He was patient with his Blood Moon, but we held up an answer. Now, if he just plays a second Blood Moon, all of a sudden it becomes a little worse. I'm still not terrible for us. We have a lot of good cards that we can cast. So, also any land allows us to cast any collected companies later. That's a pretty good one. Interesting. I bet he keeps this tapped. He might just Helix it. Might Helix this. No, that's fine. So I don't actually feel like I'm under pressure to do this. We can cast spells. I want to attack the Ajani though. Since his plan is Ajani, maybe I should have played the Hierarch to finish it off. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, I should have because now I'm playing it. Yeah, or am I? Like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna Wrath after this. So the thing is, if we play the Hierarch there and he bolts, and he has the bolt to save as a Johnny Vengeant, then we've thrown away a mana dork that's important afterwards, and that's the problem. I want to play Spellskite. Whereas if he, I assume there's a Wrath, then we're going to obviously want to have held our Hierarch. So now we are holding up Path, plus the Quasali Prime Mage, so I'll probably end up pathing my Spellskite. I doubt he's giving us a target anytime soon. May as well just path our Spellskite, go get an island, and then the Blood Moon doesn't even matter. We're losing the ability to activate this, but it doesn't matter because we can cast all the spells on our deck. And we could have also sacked our Selfless Spirit to it, but that's a bad idea. That would not have been worth it. I guess it's another reason to play the Hierarch there is because the Selfless Spirit can sack to protect the Pride Mage. But, I don't know. Maybe that was wrong. The line we took was fine too, though. This is not a huge problem in and of itself. It's kind of annoying, actually. Now it's harder to get to, but now we can play the Hierarch with the negate backup, which we could not have done before, and we can protect against everything. I mean, while it's also good, the company's also good. I'll save that for later when we need to recommit to the board. Right now, this Quasali Pride Mage itself is enough to handle the board because of the 2 Exalted triggers. Makes this, he has to throw this away. For what it's worth, we also have up Spell Queller. Yeah, he's got to sell out to protect his Ajani Vengeance here, and the Selfless Spirit's giving us protection from Wrath. So we've been able to play this the way we have. We threw away a path, and a spell sky, which honestly didn't matter that much, to have the ability to completely ignore the Blood Moon. And the Ajani is annoying, but it's not like a problem. All right, Anger the Gods is enough for me to Spell Queller. I'll Spell Queller the Anger. We can still use the Spirit. He wanted us to sack the Spirit, then he keeps this from untapping. Still, actually, we would have been able to do 2 to that, but this is great because now the Anger is gone. If he tries to Helix this, we can, which he is. We'll just sack this. Even if he'd had a removal spell in response to that, then whatever, we'd lose our board and we'd just play companies and stuff. As it stands, I think we've maneuvered ourselves very well in this game. And we'll just get in for, I guess it's the same either way here because of the double exalted, so just get in like this. Alright, so our opponent's getting beat down. We have another Spell Queller up. We no longer have Selfless Spirit to protect against another, board wipe. But if he board wipes, that's fine. We just collect a company at the end of the turn, and we're in great position here. Do I care? I don't want to negate it because I want to save the negate for Planeswalkers or something that matter, or Boom Bust or something like that that he probably has. I don't want him to wipe my board either, so I'm just going to Spell Queller and still have up negate, which is important. Yep. So let's see, this doesn't matter if he kills, if he kills this one, he wipes our board, whatever, but we still have negate. Do I negate this, though? That's a question. He's going to minus to kill the Spell Queller to wipe our board. So, yes, I guess we do have to negate this. I did say I want to save it for Planeswalkers, and here's one that we want to hit. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to kill him. We're going to be 1 short, because we have 6. We kill him in 2 turns, I'm saying. That's a nice draw, though. Alright, so we'll just get in for 6. He's only got 1 card in hand, so he's in a lot of trouble. We do need to commit to the board, so I'm just going to hold up a company at the end of his turn. This game should be over, though. Even if he wraths or something here, which, that'd be fine. But here, we'll go ahead and do this to put the last point of power on the board we need to. And that should be game. This is kind of a sweet one. The stone there, the cavern, caves, whatever it was, the gemstone thing, the thing that had luck counters. Anyways, okay, well that was an interesting game. That deck, I think we played that well. It kind of looked like a blowout, and obviously he didn't really play game 1. But I've played a lot of those red-white decks, and the matchups like that are closer than they appear. Obviously, Spell Queller is a huge difference maker there, and you could see why. But also, I think we played both. Yeah, I think we played that game pretty intelligently. But anyways, yeah, good match.